Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this presentation, I will show you how to run the BUPSUIT in the Kali Linux. So in the search place, type BUPSUIT. Okay, so by default, the BUPSUIT Community Edition is available in the Kali Linux. In case if it is not available, just update your Kali Linux or just download and use the latest version of the Kali Linux. Ensure that the Kali Linux network adapters are configured with NAT adapter. So the first interface of the BUPSUIT, just go with the default one. Okay, just click Start Burp. So the BUPSUIT is already loaded. Go to the proxy. So in the proxy, you can find a default browser is available. So just click the browser. So in case we are using the default browser, which is available with the BUPSUIT Community Edition, we need not configure the external proxy. Okay. So all the traffic from this browser to any target goes via the BUPSUIT. So let's say let us do this lab. Okay, so let me show you how to capture the traffic in the BUPSUIT. So now if you see in the proxy, if you go to HTTP history, you can find this request to the portsfigure.net website. You can find that request is available here. So the traffic is going through the BUPSUIT. Okay. So now let's click the lab part. Okay, so you have to, if you don't have the account, you have to create the account and log in with that account. So let me pass until I get authenticated. I don't want to reveal my credentials. So authentication process finished. So if you don't have any account with the BUPSUIT, okay, so you have to create a portsfigure. You have to register and then log in using the credentials. Okay. If you forget the password, you can click the forget password option, and a link will be sent to your email ID. then click the link, and you would be provided with a temporary password valid for 7 days, and that password would be used to log in into the system, okay, into the web security application, your application. So now the BUPSUIT is running here. We are in the proxy tab. We have clicked the proxy tab. Under the proxy tab, we have clicked the HTTP history. And let me delete all the, just Control A and delete the selected items. Okay. So now I click the uh, in the lab part. Okay, this is the home page of the lab part. Okay, I click the pets category or any other category you can click, and okay. So now the Burp Soup has got this traffic. Filter category is equal to threads. Okay, now you can see the tracking ID here. You can see the tracking ID here. Okay, tracking ID is very important for the blind SQL injection, Boolean based as well as the time based SQL injection. Okay, and okay, so let me show you something here. Okay, so when you go to each lab, you will see the solutions here. So this lab actually is asynchronous lab for you, blind SQL injection with conditional response. Okay, so basically, you know, the blind SQL injection does not throw any response page to you. I mean, no error message or any other message in the uh, client side. Okay, so we have to infer, we have to understand the response the web application is making based on the Boolean conditions, what we are making, what we are fixing. Okay, so for example, uh, first you want to know whether the application is vulnerable to blind SQL injection or not. Okay, so we can go to this, copy, this is the payload. Okay, so this XYZ is the tracking ID. Okay, so tracking ID already we have here. So this is the tracking ID. Okay, so just right click. So I'm not able to paste this. Okay, first go to description. Just okay. So I'm not able to paste. Okay, so no problem. Dash. Yeah, yeah. So I made a mistake actually. The mistake is mm, like just select here, right click, uh, send to repeater. You have to send this HTML content to the repeater. Sorry, the web traffic content to the repeater. Then go to the repeater, and you can see the tracking ID here. Just click here and right click, paste. Now you are sorry, we are able to successfully paste the payload here. So basically, this payload is to check whether the application is vulnerable to blind SQL injection or not. So this is the tracking ID available with the cookies to find whether the user is visiting the web page again. If the user is visiting the web page again, then there will be a welcome message. To make this welcome message, the tracking ID is used. Okay, so now what we are doing is like we are putting a single quotes, okay, to terminate. I mean, uh, the tracking ID. Usually in the SQL statement, the tracking ID will be inside single quotes in the beginning and at the end. Okay, so what we are doing that single quotes will be here near this semicolon. So what we are doing is just we are closing that single quotes and putting an AND statement, and then we are putting this Boolean expression 1 is equal to 1. So 1 is equal to 1 is always true, and this session ID is a valid session ID from the application. It is always true. So the true and true is going to be true. So if true and true is true, then it should return as a welcome page. Okay. So that's the basic idea behind this payload to test whether the application is vulnerable to SQL, blind SQL injection or not. So once you put the payload, what you have to do, you have to select the payload part, what you pasted. Okay, then you have to do the URL encoding. Just type Control U, press Control U. Now you can see the URL encoding has happened here. Okay, so after the URL encoding, Control U is what you have to do. Then click the send. Okay, now you can scroll down to see whether the welcome message has come or not. So you can go down and check welcome. So there is one match. That means this payload is returning as a welcome message. So from this, we can understand that this particular application is vulnerable to blind SQL injection based on Boolean. Now, we'll make a small modification in this payload. So just let me delete this part. Okay, so this was the original uh, data that was existing before we inserted the payload. Okay, so you can see always 1 is equal to 1 is going to return the true. So let us bring a false condition. So just copy from here. The payload is starting from the single quotes always, remember. Okay, so then paste it here, and then then what you have to do is URL encoding Control U, then let me make the screen big. So now let's say let us send the request again after inserting the payload with false condition. So now you can see if you scroll down, Okay, you cannot see the welcome message. Okay, so uh, it proves that this particular web application is vulnerable to blind SQL injection. So let's then, for example, okay, so to find whether through using this blind Boolean type SQL injection, you want to find whether a particular uh, to find whether there is a table, users table exists in the database, and inside the users table to know whether a user named administrator exists. This payload can be used. So tracking ID XYZ, no need to put because already it is there. XYZ is a tracking ID that is already there here. Understand? This is the tracking ID. This is the tracking ID. So after the tracking ID, okay, the payload starts. So you put this payload from here, this payload. Okay, so this payload to find whether a table named username exists inside that table, whether a user administrator exists. Okay, so you can use this payload. Let me do this. Copy. Okay, or since it's giving us trouble, let me copy it from again. Yeah, we can. It will be okay. So, where is the tracking ID? So, so now copy the payload and control U URL encoding. Okay, then if you click here, uh, you cannot, sorry, you will find the welcome message. Okay, see, you can see the welcome message here. So that means it implies that the user's table exists, as well as inside the users table, um, there is an user with the name administrator that also exists. So that is confirmed by not by direct like error message or any other message, but we are able to indirectly find the whether a particular table exists in the target or not using the response the tracking ID in the cookie is making. So this is called blind SQL injection based on Boolean conditions. Okay. So far I have shown you how to find the users table as well as the administrator account, and you can proceed from here onwards. Just copy the payload. Okay, so next one is to find what is the length of the password. Okay, you can copy that and you put it in the repeater part area of the verb suite after the tracking ID. Okay, you have to paste from the single quotes part until the semicolon here. Okay, then you have to do the URL encoding by Control U and then click send. Okay, then if you get the welcome message, that means the condition is true. Okay, uh, and if there is no welcome message, that means the condition is false. Okay, so this is how you can find the what is the length of the password. Then finally, you can find what is the password itself. So to finding the password itself is a very tedious job. Like uh, like here, this payload checks whether the first letter of the password is it A. If it is A, then it would return as the welcome message. Suppose if the first letter of the password is not A, then it will not return the welcome message. Then if A is not the first letter of the password, then you have to go with B. Okay, then go with C and so on. And after finishing the characters, then you have to go to the numbers from 0 to 9. So, so this is the way, this is the way you find the passwords. Okay, like finding the letters for each position of the password. Since we know what is the length of the password here, already we have found here what is the length of the password. Then we can iterate this process many times to find the alphanumeric characters for each and every position of the password. And also, if you go through the video, which I have shared with the lab part, okay, they show you some automation process using the Burp suite that you can follow and complete the that you can follow to find the length of the password in a simple way, as well as finding the uh, password itself. Okay, so just follow the video which I have shared with you. Okay, already. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.